Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know I've been doing tarot cards for the last year or so as My Divine Timing Tarot. But at this point, I haven't been uploading for a while, and I wanted to bring up to everyone's attention. I wanted to just explain to everyone why I haven't been uploading anything lately. But in the last 2 months, April of this year, 2024, I have been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Um, they diagnosed me, so they diagnosed me with inflammatory breast cancer, and it has spread through my lymph nodes into my spine, into my lungs, in through all of my bones. So this is a really big update that I'm giving everyone, and I wanted to change my channel, and I just wanted to do like a vlog. I don't know, I'm not really experienced in any of this sort of stuff. So I just wanted to share my journey, in other words, with everyone. You can tell, I guess some of you may be able to tell, but my face is normally not like this. It's very swollen at this point. And it's from the chemotherapy, it's from all the medication, the steroid medication that I'm taking. It's just the way my body is reacting. My stomach, it looks like I'm having triplets. I just feel very uncomfortable. So again, I just want to start off and rewind back to when I was diagnosed. So prior to April of this year, I've been in and out of my family doctor for the last, I'd say, about close to a year. And it was just for like small things. One day my arm would be like hurting me, and the pain wouldn't go away for about, weeks at a time. And I'd go see my family doctor and I'd let her know. And she would just say something like, oh, you pulled a muscle, it's going to take, 6 to 8 weeks to get back to normal. I'm going to prescribe you some anti-inflammatory type of medication. And, that should reduce it. It should help the pain and that. And, if it doesn't go away, just come back. And, the same old story. So that went on for the last year. So it would start off, like I said, as a pain in my arm. It would progress into a pain in my leg. From there, it would progress into a pain in my chest or a pain in my back. And because of my age, I mean, I'm only 33 years old. I have 4 kids. I'm a single mother. I have 4 boys. My boys are at the ages of 6, 7, 14, and 15 years old. So the both of them are back to back, you could say. And I've never had any sort of complication. I've never had any sort of disease. Cancer doesn't run in my family. So, this is something that was really just not planned for, really. It was not planned for. So, ongoing to my doctors for the last year, like I said, she would never take me seriously. I felt at some point that, maybe she thought that I was after narcotics, because I would keep telling her, like, whatever you're prescribing me, this is not helping my pain. Like, my pain it's painful. And I believe anyway that I have a high pain tolerance. Um, Having 4 kids, I believe that I do have a high pain tolerance. Um, and anyway, so she would never do anything about it. So it came to a point this year, in April, the pain was just like, it was unbearable to the point where I can't sleep, to the point where I'm like, I'm just up at night and I'm whining and I'm like, I knew something was wrong. My back was killing me. And so I said, you know what, I have to go to the emergency. So I went to the emergency and they did an x-ray and an ultrasound on my, they did an x-ray on my chest and they did an ultrasound on my arm because my arm was hurting me and my chest, like my back was hurting me. So they did like the chest and back x-ray. They did that and they didn't find nothing. They said, no, everything looks good. We did your blood work. You don't have no sign of blood clot and this and that. We're going to prescribe you some naproxen and hopefully in a couple of weeks, just follow up with your family doctor and, go from there. So I ended up leaving the hospital, again, miserable, in pain, crying. And not even 2 days later, I was crying, just crying and crying in pain. And I said, I'm going back to the hospital. There's something wrong with me. Like there's no way that I could be in this amount of pain. My back was killing me. My spine was killing me. It felt like it felt like it just felt like pressure, like stabbing, throbbing pressure that just didn't go away. That's how painful. That's how I could explain it to you guys. So I went back 2 days later to the hospital, and it was a different doctor at that point in the emerge. And I guess they can see from, previously, they can see like what scans, what was ordered. So this guy said, look, we're doing a CT scan right away. He said, we're doing a CT scan. I said, okay. It didn't take not even an hour. The whole process of, walking in there and seeing the doctor. It was fairly quick this time. It took around an hour, no more than that. He ordered a CT scan. I did the CT scan. As soon as I did the CT scan, I'm telling you, like 10 minutes later, the doctor called me into the room, and that's when he gave me the news. And he said, I'm sorry that I have to be the one to tell you this, but you have breast cancer, and it's very invasive, and I can see that it's already progressed. It's already spread into your lymph node, and in through your spine. He says it's very clear to say that that's what you have. And at that point, I just looked at him and I was in shock. And part of me said, I knew something was wrong with me. I'm glad that I know. And, the other part of me said, this doesn't make sense, like cancer doesn't run in my family. Is there a possibility that this could be not right? So I just asked him, I said, are you sure? Are you sure of this? And he said, yeah, I'm 100% sure. He says, there's no doubt about it. He said, I'm 100% sure and I'm sorry that it's progressed to this extent. But we're going to, I'm going to make some referrals. We're going to put you on the right track. I said, okay. So, at that point, I was still very much in shock. So, after the doctor left the room, the first person that I called was my mom. And I just called her in tears, and I just remember her answering the phone, and I just said, Mom. I just said, Mom, and I was just crying, and the words couldn't make it out of me right away. And then she just said to me, she's someone who's very, she gets very worried. She's someone who gets very overwhelmed is the word I could say. And she said, what is it? What is it? Tell me, what happened? What did the doctor say? And then that's when I said to her, I said, I have cancer. And, we both just broke out in tears. And, she said, oh, I'm going to come right now. I'm coming to the hospital. And I said, no, there's no need. They're not going to keep me here. Which, I mean, a lot of people that I have spoken to, they have said that at that point they should have kept me there because of, how progressed I was. But at the same time, things I believe happened for a reason, because I was seen very quickly. I was put on medication fairly quickly, more quick than other people that I have spoken to with the same sort of disease. So I ended up going home. I drove myself home. At this point, I don't drive anymore. I'm not really mobile anymore. Because I'm just constantly in pain. I use a cane. I'm in the process of getting a walker and a wheelchair because the pain is just, there's days where it's flared up like today, and all I could do is just sit. And as far as laying down goes, when I go to sleep, that has, I can't lay down flat on my back. Since I got diagnosed, there's been many different changes in my body, in my life in general. So after my diagnosis, I went home, and then shortly after that, I just started seeing multiple doctors. They started lining me up to see a surgeon. And this surgeon, her name was Dr. Sao. I still say it till today that lady was my angel. She really was, because if it wasn't for her, I would still be waiting to get treatment. As far as my family doctor goes, as soon as I got home that day, they prescribed me medication, obviously, before I left, because I told the doctor, I said, look, I'm in pain, and I just, I explained to him the situation about my family doctor, about how, she wasn't giving me any sort of pain medication that would help me. So he prescribed me a bunch of pain medication. I think it was hydromorphine at the time, and that helped me. So once I got home, I called my family doctor. I believe I don't know if it was the same day or the next day, but it was one or the other. And I called my family doctor and I made an appointment. I went to see her. At that point, she already had all the results back from the hospital. And she was in shock. She just said, I'm sorry that, you're diagnosed with this. But she was also somehow in denial as well because she kept saying, like, oh, you know, they got to do more tests on you. They got to do MRIs. They got to do more tests on you. They have to do a mammogram. There was a few other tests that she said that they had to do in order to be 100% sure. And I said to her, I said, no. I said, I could see the report because I pay through an app to see all my reports, my medical history through my city. And I only got that right after my diagnosis because they have ads up like in the hospital saying, for you to register online and then you can get all of your reports through your phone and you don't have to wait for a doctor. You can just read the report and see everything. So I said, I'm getting this because it was only, I think, maybe $60 for the whole year. I said, no, I'm getting this because, this is something serious and I want to have access to see what exactly the doctors are saying. And anyway, so, sorry, my breathing is really bad. I try not to talk so fast because it really screws up my breathing. So anyway, once I went back to my family doctor, I ended up switching doctors. I didn't stay with her because she was giving me a very hard time when it came to prescribing me medication. Because I kept telling her, I said, look, I only have so many pills to last me for like a week from the emergency doctor. I said, I'm going to need a refill on this because I can't go on with the pain. And for me to wait for, the palliative care team and all these other teams, like I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how long I'd have to wait. And do you believe that she never prescribed me nothing? She told me to take Advil and Tylenol off of the counter. And that was it. She wouldn't prescribe me nothing else. So I told her, I just looked at her, I said, you know what? You're a joke. You're a big joke. And I left her. And I thank God that I found a new family doctor that she treats everyone with respect. It seems like she's very, she takes her time with you. It's like she's not in it for the money. She really takes her time with her patients. She really cares. You can feel that off of her. And I'm glad that I found her. So anyway, I found a new family doctor. And then shortly after that, like I said, I started seeing this surgeon. She's a breast cancer surgeon, Dr. Sao, here in Canada. I live in Canada, in Milton, Ontario. And so I started seeing this surgeon and she informed me that, the surgery was out of the question because I'm already at a stage 4. So that was not an option for me. It would not help me. It wouldn't do me any good. But she's the one who set me up with, my oncologist, with everything, every single thing, the palliative care group, with all the testing that I had to get done, mammograms, everything. She did everything. She prescribed me all of my medication because my family doctor prior wouldn't. And so she would prescribe me in between, and so would my new family doctor. But I was more so in contact with the surgeon rather than my new family doctor. I was all the time going back to the surgeon just to find out results and that. So that took, for me to get on on chemotherapy, it took less than 2 months. It was a pretty fast process. I'd say like maybe a month and a half at most it took. And so I started chemotherapy, and that is what gave me a lot of side effects. My face is huge. Can't really tell. My stomach, it literally looks like I'm having triplets. And I was always a thin person. I was never overweight or anything like that. I was always fairly athletic, thin. So since the chemotherapy, I'm starting radiation this upcoming week at a different hospital in Mississauga where they offer the radiation. And I just hope that it's gonna run smoothly. It's not gonna really affect me. Like, I hope I just don't get sick or more side effects than what I have, because honestly, like, I can't even function at this point at all. My kids, like, over the last 2 months since I got diagnosed, I've been in and out of the hospital as well, due to pain, due to swelling, due to side effects. I do go to the hospital, and I have been admitted over the last 2 months in through the hospital. So it's been a very bumpy ride. Everything hasn't been so smooth. Like, yes, I started my chemotherapy fairly quick, and I had everything on the go within a month and a half, but that whole month and a half was very bumpy as well. Like I said, I was hospitalized 3 times. The first time was about less than a week. The second time was less than a week as well. And then the third time was 2 weeks. That was the last time, which was up until last week. I was there. And I just don't want to go back, because it's, it affects me. It affects my kids. It affects everybody, my mom. So, I mean, a lot of you might be wondering, like, oh, so how, who watches your kids? And, like, what do you, so my mom is the one who helps me out with my children. She's the one who takes care of me. I'm at the point where, I have PSWs. I have these personal support workers that come in 3 times a week, and they help me. They help motivate me, because even just taking a shower, it's like you just don't feel like it. You have no energy. I just don't feel like doing anything at all. The only thing that I feel like doing is staying home and just being with my kids, even if it's just sitting there talking to them, I'm happy with that. Like, but it's a lot for somebody my age to have to go through. My teeth as well. I could see there's been a lot of changes with my teeth as well. They're like breaking. Most of them have broke. Yeah, it's just a lot of changes. I wish I could show my stomach right now, but I'm wearing a very baggy sweater. I don't know why, but I'm wearing a baggy sweater. But my stomach has gotten very big. It looks like I'm pregnant. I don't know if you can tell. Maybe you could tell now. Yeah. And it's like, honestly, it's all bruised up because I have to take an injection on my stomach once every um, 28 days. They inject me in my stomach. It's for my bones. It's a bone injection, but they do it in your stomach. So my stomach is like so hard as a rock, and it's so swollen that it's just it just turns bruised. Like it turns black right away with the injection. Trying to think if there's anything else at this point. I mean, I'm going to be doing this every day. I'm going to be including my family in these videos. But I just wanted to start it off. Wanted to start off this video so everybody kind of gets an idea of why I haven't uploaded stuff. Of what I'm currently going through. This means a lot to me to document this. And it's very hard. But this is something that I know, I have to go through it. I have to go through it. Will I overcome it? No, I won't. Am I being negative about that? No, I don't think so, because I'm not going to be cured. And the doctors have told me that. There's no cure here. Is there room, or is there a chance that things could, there could get delayed, or, I could just remain the same. I could be stable. Yeah, there's definitely a chance for that, depending on how my body reacts to the medications in the next 3 months. Another thing people might want to know is, have you had a prognosis? Yes, I have. I've had 2 of them. I've had one from my radiologist, and I've had one from my oncologist. So the radiologist has told me that I have 6 months to under 2 years to live. The oncologist has told me that I have up to 3 years. He believes 1 to under 3 years to live. Do I believe that? It's hard to say. I mean, I try not to think about it, because that's something that really, it really brings you into a dark hole when you start thinking about that. It's very sad. Especially knowing I have kids and I'm young, and, it's not even about that. It's just about my kids, really. I just think about, like, how much time do I have left here with them, so I don't know if that's true or not. The only way that I'll know is, again, once I start doing all these treatments, like the radiation, because the radiation will be the first time that I start. But anyway, if there's anything that you guys want to say or want to know, don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. And I'm excited, and I'm grateful that you guys, whoever's out there anyway, is watching this, and maybe they can relate to what I'm going through. And yeah, so like I said, today is not a good day for me at all. Out of the 2 months, I think today is probably one of the worst days, to be honest with you. And for some reason, I wanted to start this vlog on the worst day. My breathing is really bad because of my lungs, and my pain level is over a 10 today. I can't even sleep. I'm in pain from head to toe. I have a cane that I use. I can't even walk without that cane. And even when I walk with the cane, it's like I walk so slow, and I have to hold on to everything as I walk. But anyway, I'll hop on this tomorrow and I'll do a new vlog. And that way, maybe I can include my kids. I can introduce them. And, you know, as far as once I start going in through radiation, stuff like that, my appointments, I would like to film it as well. Just so people can see what I'm going through, you know. I'd like to share my experience on my journey that I have to go through, unfortunately, but anyway, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. And I hope that everybody has a good night and to try and just be happy. You know, that's what I have to try and do, is just be happy. And all right, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow.